Hello and welcome to Big Talk live from the nation's capital, Abuja. My name is Adika Michael and a pleasure to have you tonight. Join us as we look at a very troubling political issue and tension in Rivers State. Earlier today, some angry protesters took to the street of the Rivers State, most in Port Harcourt, to protest against the governor decisions and the decision of the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission to conduct a local government election in the state. The protests erupted some street activities where it took the intervention of the security agencies to combat the situation. We have where the situation got so tough, and it's aware of reaction by the People's Democratic Party and APC in reacting to the decision by the Rivers State electoral body to conduct the local government election. It looks moral that the governor has taken a very tough decision, undermining the Supreme Court, a Federal High Court in Abuja's judgment, which barred the INEC from releasing the 2023 voter register to Rivers State's Independent Electoral Commission. Tonight we'll be looking at that issue coming from Rivers State. And of course, we'll also revisit the fact that during the president broadcast on the Independence 64th anniversary, he made mention of setting up a panel for youth to, in a way of conference, to discuss and have a dialogue. But it looks more that all of these have not really resulted to a proper dialogue ending with the youth. All of that will be what we'll be looking at tonight on the program. All right, everyone, we'll go on a break, and once we return from the break, we'll take the decisions and conversations started on the program. Do stay with us.
For an insightful idea that takes the center stage and the conversation that gets beyond the headlines, to explore the lasting impact of political decisions, Big Talk got you covered. From policy debates to geopolitical insights, from thought-provoking discussions to actionable insight.
What is the real responsibility of government?
Big Talk delves deep into the heart of the matter. Join us weekdays on global televisions from 6:30 p.m. for a reverting journey into the heart of politics, where we dissect issues shaping our society.
Many thanks, everyone, for assisting with us on the program. What is the main issue in Rivers State? Let's give a very background to all of these concern, because Saturday is just a day two, and the election, from all it looks by the Rivers State Electoral Commission, is that they are set for the election. But the protests that erupted the street of Port Harcourt today has continued to spark a whole lot of concern as to the position of the governor and the party in all of this, which it took the security operative to prevent the further escalation as the protests arrived in large number, leading to the traffic congestion in the area. The protests they gathered more at the party secretariat of the People's Democratic Party, forcing security operatives to stop the crowd, and all of those managed. This is the concern over the delay of release of 2023 voters registered by INEC to the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission. Despite the court ruling, Governor Fubara maintained that the election will go on as planned. Fubara is expressing confidence that the Supreme Court earlier ruling, which mandated that all states in the Federation must have democratically elected local government executives, support his position. That is the decision of the governor, and he's taking it, and of course he's talking very tough and insisting that the election must hold. We don't know why the PDP and APC are distancing themselves from the election. On the program we're looking at that, but this is the background of that. That INEC has said that it has not released the voter register to RISEC for the conduct of the election in defense to the judgment of the Federal High Court. Meanwhile, Rivers State High Court in Port Harcourt had ordered the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission to proceed with the local government council elections scheduled for October 5th, which is just on Saturday. Justice Igwe gave order while delivering the judgment filed by the Action People's Party applicant against the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission and the governor of Rivers State, stated that first to 10 respondents. In the 35 court judgment, which was issued on Friday, September 4, 2024, Justice Igwe directed the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission to use the 2023 voters register for the elections. The court emphasized the importance of conducting election within the 3 months to fill vacant council position as mandated by the Supreme Court in a suit filed on July 11, 2024, to the effect that all states without democratically elected local government council in place should conduct election into their respective local government councils within the 3 months from the date of the judgment of the Supreme Court of Nigeria. That the court maintained based on the judgment of the Supreme Court, which the defendants are bound to conduct elections in the local government elections councils in the Rivers State before the expiration of the said 3-month period on October 5th. The governor has vowed to proceed with the election and has declared Thursday, which is today, and Friday tomorrow as public holiday in preparation for the election. But what does it really mean for the PDP, and what does it mean for APC to distance themselves from the election? It looks like the governor had instructed some of his loyal candidates to defect from PDP to APP for respect of that election. This is not going down well with the people, some people of Rivers State, where it looks at the background for all of these is the rift between the governor and the former governor of Rivers State, Minister Wike, which is fueling the crisis and the tension in respect to the local government election. Tonight on the program, we'll delve into that and have a proper understanding of what the law really said, and if the Supreme Court gave a judgment that local government must have democratically elected chairman. Should Governor Fubara insist on the election or not? We'll look at that on the program tonight. Do well to stay with us on the program. I'll be right back.
For an insightful idea that takes the center stage and the conversation that gets beyond the headlines, to explore the lasting impact of political decisions, Big Talk got you covered. From policy debates to geopolitical insights, from thought-provoking discussions to actionable insight.
What is the real responsibility of government?
Big Talk delves deep into the heart of the matter. Join us weekdays on global televisions from 6:30 p.m. for a reverting journey into the heart of politics, where we dissect issues shaping our society. For an insightful idea that takes the center stage and the conversation that gets beyond the headlines, to explore the lasting impact of political decisions, Big Talk got you covered. From policy debates to geopolitical insights, from thought-provoking discussions to actionable insight.
What is the real responsibility of government?
Big Talk delves deep into the heart of the matter. Join us weekdays on global televisions from 6:30 p.m. for a reverting journey into the heart of politics, where we dissect issues shaping our society. For an insightful For an insightful idea that takes the center stage and the conversation that gets beyond the headlines, to explore the lasting impact of political decisions, Big Talk got you covered. From policy debates to geopolitical insights, from thought-provoking discussions to actionable insight.
What is the real responsibility of government?
Big Talk delves deep into the heart of the matter. Join us weekdays on global televisions from 6:30 p.m. for a reverting journey into the heart of politics, where we dissect issues shaping our society. For an insightful idea that takes the center stage and the conversation that gets beyond the headlines, to explore the lasting impact of political decisions, Big Talk got you covered. From policy debates to geopolitical insights, from thought-provoking discussions to actionable insight.
What is the real responsibility of government?
Big Talk delves deep into the heart of the matter. Join us weekdays on global televisions from 6:30 p.m. for a reverting journey into the heart of politics, where we dissect issues shaping our society. For an insightful idea that takes the center stage and the conversation that gets beyond the headlines, to explore the lasting impact of political decisions, Big Talk got you covered. From policy debates to geopolitical insights, from thought-provoking discussions to actionable insight.
What is the real responsibility of government?
Big Talk delves deep into the heart of the matter. Join us weekdays on global televisions from 6:30 p.m. for a reverting journey into the heart of politics, where we dissect issues shaping our society. For an insightful idea that takes the center stage and the conversation that gets beyond the headlines, to explore the lasting impact of political decisions, Big Talk got you covered. From policy debates to geopolitical insights, from thought-provoking discussions to actionable insight.
What is the real responsibility of government?
Big Talk delves deep into the heart of the matter. Join us weekdays on global televisions from 6:30 p.m. for a reverting journey into the heart of politics, where we dissect issues shaping our society. For an insightful idea that takes the center stage and the conversation that gets beyond the headlines, to explore the lasting impact of political decisions, Big Talk got you covered. From policy debates to geopolitical insights, from thought-provoking discussions to actionable insight.
What is the real responsibility of government?
Big Talk delves deep into the heart of the matter. Join us weekdays on global televisions from 6:30 p.m. for a reverting journey into the heart of politics, where we dissect issues shaping our society.
Many thanks everyone for staying with us, and a big apology. Joining us for the discuss Rivers State local government election is Kingdom Okere Kamvena, lawyers in defense of democracy. Thanks so much for joining us, and a big apology for the stress finding your way.
Good evening, Nigerians. Good evening, Abuja. So sorry for the delay. It was just due to.
Thanks so much. A concern, Rivers State. We saw the press conference of the York Group held yesterday in respect to the judgment. On the other hand, we've seen judgment from the Supreme Court, given an order to governors to conduct, given an order to local government, state electoral body to conduct local government election. And this is where the governor is standing and insisting that election must hold on Saturday.
Of course, the election must go on Saturday because the right court with the right jurisdiction has made an order that the election should go on, because the Rivers State High Court, that is the court with competent jurisdiction that can make an injunctive order or a compelling order to either restrain or compel the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission to perform a constitutional duty or a statutory obligation under the Constitution. So what the Federal High Court and the team of prominent justices at the Federal High Court are doing in connivance with the Honorable Chief Judge of the Federal High Court, who is always assigning Rivers State cases to a particular justices of the Federal High Court because they can be easily compromised by the supposed big man, Nyesom Wike, the former governor of Rivers State. What they are doing is just judicial abracadabra, like I said yesterday at the joint press conference of the Joint Action for Democracy, which comprises of lawyers in defense of democracy and other civil society organizations. All their injunctive orders are one sheet of paper, and I can say it, I can face any panel of Nigerian Bar Association, any panel of the NJC, and I will be very proud to defend the matter at the Supreme Court, at the Court of Appeal, on the issue of whether or not the Federal High Court has made any valid order. They don't have jurisdiction. The Federal High Court should distinguish between when the lawmakers that have decamped to APC, when they come to the Federal High Court to approach the Federal High Court, whether their seat is vacant. They should be able common sense. Even a law student at the law school can't make that kind of order. You don't have jurisdiction. Section 251, subsection 1 of the 1999 Constitution clearly defines the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court. In 251 PQR, define where you can make injunctive order, you can interpret the Constitution, where it concerns the federal government and agencies of the federal government. So the justices of the Federal High Court that are giving this one-line sheet of paper in the name of restrictive order against the Rivers State Independent Electoral Judiciary must be called to act. They must be questioned by the NJC. A common law student should know that they don't have jurisdiction. You must separate when the lawmakers that have decamped, when they come to seek whether or not their seat is vacant and whether or not INEC can be compelled to conduct by-election to replace them. You must distinguish it from when they bring a backyard application that you should make an injunctive order restraining Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission from conducting local government election. Federal High Court does not have the jurisdiction, and we have also said that what Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission is doing is in compliance with section 287 of the Constitution and in compliance with the Supreme Court judgment. The Supreme Court made specific order that states and their agencies should comply with the terms of the judgment. That is order number 14 in the landmark judgment of the Supreme Court, that states and their agencies, Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission is an agency of the Rivers State government, so which the Supreme Court said state and their agencies should comply, and they are complying. And you now come from a Federal High Court to making another restraining INEC from giving them voter registration. Look at what paragraph 4 of part 2 of the third schedule to the 1999 Constitution said. The only where they mention INEC with regards to local government election is that the State Independent Electoral Commission can advise INEC as to whether or not they want to use the voter register to conduct election. That's all. That's the only. INEC does not have any role to play in local government election.
We'll come back to that because we understand that conducting an election without the voters registered might also be a very big problem here. But let's react to the protests by PDP and APC today. Is it possible to go on to an election in the country as we speak now without the PDP, without APC?
PDP and APC, what are they statutorily or constitutionally? Do you see anywhere in the 1999 Constitution or in the letter at where you feel that the election can go ahead on Saturday? PDP and APC are just like every other political party. Yes, from section 1 to the last section of the 1999 Constitution and from section 1 to the last section of the Electoral Act 2022 as amended. Did you see anywhere they say there is a political party called PDP hereby established? There is a political thing. There's a, when they talk all this nonsense, they just deceiving the lay people. Did you see anywhere in the Constitution of Nigeria or in the Electoral Act where they say there is a party called APC hereby established? These parties are registered by INEC in accordance with the provisions of the Constitution and the provisions of the Electoral Act. They are mere political parties registered by INEC. So
speaking as a lawyer,
so
I'm asking politically.
I'm telling you that if they don't want to participate in Rivers State election, it is their business. You can decide not to participate in any election that you think you don't have capacity to win. You decide not to field candidates.
So it looks
PDP and APC are not statutorily established political parties like during the time of IBB that he established SDP and NRC by decree. These things are political parties registered. So it is choice. It is their choice to choose whether or not to participate in Rivers State local government election.
Agreed.
Parties that are willing to participate should participate, and Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission should go ahead and conduct the election because they are armed by the decision of the Supreme Court. It's not just a mere judgment of the Supreme Court. There is a compelling order number 14 of that landmark judgment that says that states and their agencies, Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission is an agency of Rivers State government that is under the compulsion of the Supreme Court judgment to conduct local government election. The Supreme Court said that state and the agency should comply with the terms of this judgment. They should go ahead with the election.
My question was, you may be constitutionally right, but politically,
what is politics? Is it the kind of politics that are people are impoverished? The PDP and APC, that is what I'm asking you.
In Nigerian politics today, we can't undermine.
And we must redefine the politics within the ambits of the law.
Right.
We must redefine this politics. We must continue to talk sense into the so-called political stakeholders. We must redefine politics. It must be played in a way that it affects positively on the common man on the street. What is the problem in Rivers State? Other states have conducted their local government election because there is one man who is omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient, who is not too powerful.
Former governor of Rivers State, Wike, is
that's what I'm telling you. He is too powerful because of his interest. The federal high court must break the rules. The federal high court must not give an order where they don't have jurisdiction. I am ashamed of Justice Luffy on the federal high court who made that injunctive order that has not. Any judge that makes a judgment or gives an order, that judgment or order is a public document. You can criticize it. In fact, I can decide to write my PhD thesis on the judgment of Justice Luffy on Rivers State Independent Electoral or Rivers State election. You can do your thesis on it. It becomes a public document. So if a judge sits as a judge on the bench and don't think that doing justice, dispensing justice should be his primary constitutional duty and decide to do abracadabra and leave injunctive order because there is a Wike that must be worshipped every Sunday. Now they should put Wike's picture in all the churches in Rivers State and be worshipping him as God. If Justice Luffy thinks that is what the people of Rivers State should be doing, and we cannot give injunctive order against INEC not to release voter register to Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission, the same INEC have released it to all the states that are conducting election. What is the case of Rivers State? Because there is a Wike that must be worshipped every Sunday as God of Rivers State. So if Justice Luffy think he can give such order and go free, that is why we are now brought into the court of public opinion and tell the public and tell the globe what he has done. He should know that justice must be dispensed without fear of favor. So the issue of whether or not I'm a lawyer, I'm criticizing the judge, I'm telling you, once a judge makes any pronouncement from the bench, you can write thesis on that judgment. In fact, let me tell you, my project at the Imo State University, my project and my final year project was the jurisprudence of the Reali School of Law, case study of Amechi versus Omehe, how the Supreme Court installed Amechi as governor of Rivers State. Case study. You can write as my master's thesis at the University of Abuja is the jurisprudence of federal character principle. A case study of President Buhari's lopsided appointment. Buhari was not just lopsided in his appointment, he was so clannish, he exhibited hate against a section of the country, particularly the Southeast. I'm telling you, he exhibited the hatred against the Southeast. I wrote thesis on his appointment. So I'm telling you, whatever you are doing, you think you can go scot-free, it can be a subject of academic endeavor. So as I'm telling you now, every law student in any of the universities, whether you are doing your first degree, your master's or your PhD, you can write to your thesis or your dissertation on Justice Littrell's ruling on Rivers State local government election. So it is a matter of public discourse. We will discuss it so that one next brings such a matter before him and he gives him either financially or by whatever means to give this kind of ridiculous injunctive order. He will be very careful. He knows that there is a court of public jurisdiction. That one is a court of federal high court jurisdiction. Now this is a court of public domain. We have the constitutional right to criticize, to say this is wrong or this is right. Even when the president is doing wrong, we tell him. A president that sponsored protest, was it not shameful that even late on October 1st, when we came out fearless to protest again, that the police unleashed mayhem on innocent protesters, when you and I cannot travel freely on the roads of Nigeria? Bandits will kidnap you. You can't travel between here to Enugu. Bandits will kidnap you at Itobe. They will kidnap you and tell you to be. They call people kaya in the bushes. They kidnap my colleagues in the office. They call people kaya. After 7 days that people were not able to pay ransom, they say, God said we should kill all these people and not bring another kaya. They are referring to another set of human beings that are traveling, innocent travelers that should be going to kidnap. Tinubu cannot put on the muzzle to fight insurgency, fighting security. They are busy fighting innocent protesters. Then on the 1st of October at Bega bus stop, they're under the bridge there, more than 2,000 policemen, army, DSS, civil defense, with all their armory.
Let's turn on
innocent protesters.
We are discussing Rivers State, and the government and the governor are sworn into office. The oath to protect the lives and the property of the people of Rivers.
That's the governor of Rivers State.
Yes, we are afraid that the way it is going, we've seen an indications already from the protest.
That is what we want to achieve.
We are afraid that if it's not well managed, that it might get escalated, and the Saturday's election may somehow look, out of hand. Because as I said, and the question was, politically, not constitutionally,
if the election gets out of hand, Justice Littrell should be held responsible. MDC should hold him responsible. We are calling on international communities. We are calling on all the embassies in Nigeria to deny him visa. If anything happens in Rivers State, there is breakdown of law and order. Justice Littrell, who gave a politically and financially induced restrictive order against INEC to release a voter register that is already in the custody of Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission, should be held responsible. If there is breakdown of law and order, he must be denied visa. He must be held to account. That is what we can want to achieve. He wants to get a black market ex parte order, and they will not rely on the black market ex parte order to say they are protesting. They are not part of the election, and they will not unleash mayhem on the people of Rivers State, cause violence, and say there was no election. That is what they have wanted to achieve at the issue. That is what the governor
not obeying court order, because that those
the governor is obeying court order.
I'm coming, barrister. That those that will tell you we have other, legal issues.
I'm telling you that the order of the federal high court is a one-page sheet of paper. It shouldn't be obeyed by the governor. The federal high court lacks jurisdiction to make an order that is injunctive against Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission. I'm telling you that, and I'm telling you that we be proud to defend these sections of the Constitution, section 251, subsection 1 PQR, at any level in this country. I'm telling you that the federal high court doesn't have any jurisdiction to stop Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission from conducting local government election. So what they have done is to, in a subtle manner, say that they are restricting INEC from releasing the voter register. Look, let me tell you what is contained in paragraph 4B of part 2 of the third schedule to the Constitution as regards the powers of ISEC to conduct local government election is that any of the state independent electoral commission, not Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission alone, any of the state independent electoral commission can advise INEC as to whether they will use the national voter register or not to conduct local government election. And now this also called to question, because in one of my academic submissions, in one of my presentations, that was one of my seminars at the LLM class, I had described laws in our statute books as incorrect, as laws that are evolving. They are just in the law books sleeping. They are only activated, they are only giving life when they are giving judicial interpretation. So what I'm saying in essence is that the laws that are as in our constitution, particularly paragraph 4b of part 2 of the third schedule to the constitution, as to the power of INEC and the power of the State Independent Electoral Commission to advise on the use of voter register. It is not sacrosanct. I have read the constitution. There is nowhere the constitution said that the State Independent Electoral Commission cannot do their own voter registration. Now when controversy comes in law and laws are interpreted, that is when new principles of law will come out. And I'm advising all State Independent Electoral Commissions to go ahead and carry out their own voter registration exercise.
You know the
constitution did not
you know the implication of that.
There is nowhere in the constitution where the constitution. What is the implication? What is the implication?
If we have State Independent Electoral
It is for the purpose of conducting local government. The voter register should be for the purpose of conducting voter registration. For the purpose of conducting local government election.
My question is, do you know the implication of that?
No implication.
To capture, it is another way for state to capture their local government. We are asking of the local government returning for our local government, and the elections will be free at the grassroots.
How?
If state electoral body are having their own register for election, there will be a dispute.
How? No. Your submission is illogical. No. At all, what steps capture? I'm telling you,
PDP in some state capturing their own local government election. I've not seen APC doing
that. That is not the issue. The issue is about conduct. Even with the INEC voter register, I don't know capturing state. And now the APC win the election.
Based on your advocacy for state to start having their own.
That is what I'm telling you. That there is nowhere in the constitution that the states are barred from having their own voter register. And I'm now telling them, I'm opening their eyes that there is nowhere in the constitution or in the electoral act where they say State Independent Electoral Commission cannot do their own voter register. States are hereby advised by Barrister Kingdom to carry out their own voter register for the purpose of conducting local government election. There is no section of the constitution that bars it or that prohibits you on the market. And for you to bar it, you must go to the constitution and buy it. There is no such clause. The only clause where states and INEC are brought together with regards to local government election is that State Independent Electoral Commission will advise INEC as to the use of voter register to conduct voter registration. So whereby states carry out their own voter registration for the purpose of conducting local government election, they will now advise INEC portion to paragraph 4b of part 2 of the third schedule to the constitution and say that portion to this section of the constitution we advise you that we are not going to use the national voter register to conduct Rivers State local government election. We are using our own voter register carried out by Rivers State Independent to conduct the election. And I'm telling you that there is no section in the constitution or in the electoral act that prohibits states from carrying out their own voter registration. Nobody has thought about it. I am thinking about it, and I am advising state independent electoral commission to commence their own registration exercise.
All right.
No section of the constitution bars them from that.
All right, we'll be back to continue that conversation with Barrister Kingdom in respect to our detention in Rivers State on the grounds of the elections scheduled to take place on October 5th. Stay with us on the program. We'll be right back. Many thanks for staying with us on the program. This is Big Talk, reaching you from the nation's capital, Abuja. And we're still having an understanding in respect to the concern in Rivers State election. And the governor is insisting on the election to hold on Saturday 5th, while the APC and PDP are arguing that they should obey the order from INEC for the 2023 voter register onto the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission. Barrister Kingdom is still here with us on the program to add more voice to this concern. Barrister, quickly, I understand your concern and the perspective about all of this monitoring. Well, democracy is the will of the people, is about the people. And if we are having argument as heated as this, we are more concerned that there should be a way of resolving this, not just running to an election. The end to an election is for the people.
Yes, if you talk about way of resolving it, now you're talking about political solution. Maybe even in court, we call it settlement.
Is it possible? Is it visible?
So the issue, that is if the parties are willing. If the parties are willing, but from what is happening, you find out that the parties may not be really willing to resolve the issues, because I've been sure there is no issue to resolve. There is no issue. The only issue I've seen that there is a superhuman being who was a former governor of Rivers State, and the issue didn't commence today. The governor has spoken at various times. What is at stake is the resources of Rivers State, who manages, who controls it, who controls the policy. So I don't want to dabble into that. What is my primary concern is that the Supreme Court of Nigeria has given a landmark judgment, which, by the way, we must always, whenever we talk about that landmark judgment, we must commend the Attorney General of the Federation, even though there are several other issues that we have criticized him about. For instance, his handling of the issue of end bad governance protesters. I am very ashamed that an Attorney General of the standing of Fagbemi SAN could be an Attorney General where innocent protesters are being falsely accused of treason, felony, that they want to burn down High Court, burn down government institutions in the name of peaceful protest, whereas politicians are busy looting our national treasury, busy living flamboyant life. The people in government are busy stealing our money, going about programs that does not affect the lives of the common man, and people are suffering, and you are charging innocent protesters of treason. We have condemned him, and we will always condemn him for being an Attorney General where that kind of ridiculous charge is being brought up against innocent Nigerians. But the issue of restoring the government at the grassroots, which the governors since 1999 election, since after the first election that produced the first set of local government chairmen, and that also produced President Obasanjo and all the governors coming to power, no states have faithfully conducted local government election. And what the governors are doing is to appoint caretaker. After 6 months, they rename them, call them SOLAD. After 6 months, they call them Interim Management Committee. After 6 months, they call them Caretaker Committee. After the next 6 months, they call them SOLAD again. That's what they are doing. And they are siphoning the money meant for rural development. Criminal governors over the years. I'm not talking about just the incumbent governors. The successive governors that have refused to conduct local government elections. All of them criminals. Siphoning money, diverting money meant for rural development. They will call their surrogates, who they have appointed as a local government caretaker committee chairman. They will sign up all the allocation at the end of every federal statutory allocation, and the governors will siphon the money, change them into dollars. All these are with the landmark judgment. That's what I'm saying. That the AG, we have always commended him on that. For them to have initiated that. So you will see that when local government elections are conducted in Nigeria, you will see the level of development at the rural place. You see that even insecurity will reduce, because if the money that is meant for the localities are very well managed, you find out that very number of youths will be empowered and insecurity will reduce. Even the local government chairman too will invest in security of their rural communities. And every crime that is committed in the community. This area now is Abuja Central area. It's a community. Maitama is a community. Asoko is a community. Lokoguma is a community. Every crime that is committed from a community. Oh, there's no here called city. All the cities is communities. They call it district. Asoko is this. They are all communities. So every crime is committed within the community. So if the money meant for rural development are very well channeled in the community, you will see that crime will reduce. So what we are saying is that judgment is commendable. And any court that is sitting on appeal or that has made an order that restricts any state or that frustrates the conduct of local government election, like Justice Suhu of the Federal High Court has done, that judge have sat on appeal on the judgment of the Supreme Court and must be buried by the NJC. That judge must be should be immediately suspended. Justice Livi of the Federal Court Abuja should be immediately suspended. If it is when we have a proactive NJC, and of course the NJC is under the chairmanship of the Chief Justice of Nigeria. If we have a Chief Justice of Nigeria who is coming out from a clean record, who has not given this kind of order, or has made the number 4 become number 1, a kind of Chief Justice that has a clean record, by now they should have suspended Livi. I'm saying it with all alacrity. Whatever they want to do, let them do. I'm telling you that Livi by now should have been suspended.
I'm happy that you're a lawyer, but in the
and he's giving an order that is frustrating the implementation of the Supreme Court.
Let's get to this.
Judgment of the Supreme Court. And he's still sitting as a judge.
Let's get to this, Barrister Kingdom. In the eyes of the law, there are a whole lot of litigations in the Rivers State. We've seen the House of Assembly yet to be resolved. We've seen cases of who are the occupants of the House of Assembly, even when the governor is still having the stand of some of the few members of the House. That in the eyes of the law, is the governor disobeying what the court?
The governor is the person obeying the order of the court. It is Honorable Chief Judge of the Federal High Court and Honorable Justice Lifi. One, the Chief Judge of the Federal Court has the character of always assigning every case that has to do with Rivers State to Justice Lifi because of his own inducement. I don't know whoever that induced him. And Justice Lifi, for him to sit on the bench of the Federal High Court and give an injunctive order, expected order, restraining INEC from releasing voter registration to Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission, which the mischief makers are now using to cause mayhem in Rivers State. Justice Lifi must be held responsible. He has sat on appeal on the judgment of the Supreme Court that mandates order number 14 of that judgment said state governments and their agencies. State governments and their agencies, I don't know whether some of these judges they don't look at, they don't read that judgment, are hereby ordered to implement the term of this judgment. State governments include Rivers State government. Agencies of the state government includes Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission. For Justice Lifi to sit at the bench of the Federal High Court and make an expected order that is black market, that is corruptly induced, and bring about this kind of quagmire, this kind of commotion that the mischief makers are now using to cause mayhem in Rivers State election. He has sat in contempt of the judgment of the Supreme Court. He has sat in as on appeal on the judgment of the Supreme Court, and it's even clear breach of Section 287 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The Section 287 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria compels every court of subordinate jurisdiction to implement the judgment of the Supreme Court of Nigeria. So now Justice Lifi and his brother, Chief Judge of the Federal High Court, are now telling us that the Federal High Court is not a subordinate court to the Supreme Court of Nigeria. We will fight this out up to any level within the ambit of the law. There will be plethora of petitions against Justice Lifi and the Chief Judge of the Federal Court and the NJC, and we will compel the NJC to sit publicly to hear the petition so that the world will hear us out and let them come and defend themselves. And of course, we will doubt the independence of the NJC to do justice to this kind of petitions, because the current chairman of the NJC is the Honorable Chief Justice of Nigeria, who is always having that stigma of delivering the judgment where the number 4 becomes the number 1.
All right, there's a big judicial litigations, issues and concern coming from Rivers State in respect to the elections. We are still keeping our eyes very close and tracking the story coming from Rivers State in respect to the election. But the governor have insisted and is talking to the election holds on October 5th, which is this Saturday. But how this goes to APC, how this goes to PDP, is what we are still tracking. And for the thanks so much to Barrister Kingdom Okere, convener lawyers in defense of democracy, for joining us tonight on the program. So much. And that's where we draw the curtain tonight on the program, our Big Talk. See you again tomorrow when we look at all the political issues. My name is Edika Michael. See you tomorrow.